What is up, YouTube? I'm Mike, and today I'm back. I got my Trenbolone shirt on, but I'm not really going to be talking about Trenbolone today. Although, admittedly, Trenbolone could entice you into the topic that I am going to be talking about today. What I'm talking about is something that has ripped apart social media over the last 2 days. It has started major infighting amongst conservatives and Republicans and members of the grand old party. It is absolute carnage on X. If you have an X account and you want to follow me, which there are some tangible reasons to, it might lead you to something you've been looking for. You can follow me on X, Trinemy number 1. Trinemy number 1 is my X handle. I usually talk about a lot of political shit, so if you don't like that, then fucking piss off and don't follow me there. But nevertheless, because of the fact that on X, I follow a lot of conservative voices, something was released recently that, like I said in the beginning of the video, has the entire conservative world in a massive upheaval. And what this nefarious thing was is that somebody created a calendar called the conservative calendar, and I guess it's like a calendar for dads. And inside of this calendar, if you can believe this, they have pictures of girls wearing bikinis. That's right. Riley Gaines, active anti-trans activist, female activist, actually makes an appearance in the calendar amongst other notable sort of conservative women, female names, whatever. I don't know 90% of these people, but the Christian right is losing their collective fucking minds over this calendar. And so now on X, there's this massive debate that I've gotten involved in. Actually, technically, I haven't gotten involved in it. My wife has gotten involved in it. That's a whole other thing I won't get into. Over what it truly means to be a conservative. And so that then branched into an all-out attack on pornography in general. So what the Christian right, and I understand this is not the entire Christian right. I know there are plenty of Christian people out there that are not totally fucking insane, but some select and very large number of Christian people are on various social media platforms saying that our country is being destroyed by pornography, that pornography is destroying marriages, and that things like this conservative calendar depicting women in bikinis is effectively soft-core pornography that is desensitizing American men into believing what is right and wrong. And if you ask me, this is like the literal definition of fucking insanity. So I guess then, like, if you're a conservative man, you can never go to like the water park or the beach or out to the lake or the fucking local swimming pool, because you will almost certainly, if you go to one of these locations, happen to lay eyes upon a woman in a bikini. And I don't know what is going on with these Christian men. Like, I thought like Christian men were supposed to be like really strong in their moral character because they had like the Holy Spirit inside them and they were like lifted up through Christ. And like, I think there's like a Bible verse about like putting on the whole armor of God, and that they were supposed to be able to basically resist temptation. But apparently I was wrong, because apparently all it takes for these Christian men is to look at a bikini top and they're just, oh my God, they've completely, they're going to divorce their wives, they don't love their kids anymore, their brains have been taken over, and the next thing you know, they're just going to be at like an adult cinema just vigorously trying to work one out in like the alcoves of the back, disgusting disgusting, vile. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck these people are talking about. So what I want to understand from my audience is, like, is there something wrong with me? You know what I mean? Like, so let me basically explain to you why I think it's fucking impossible for pornography to destroy any marriage. So I watch pornography. My wife watches pornography. Sometimes we watch pornography together. Admittedly, currently in our relationship, I don't really think either of us is ever watching it alone, but there have definitely been times in our marriage, usually when we're like both on cycle, that we will watch it alone if for no other reason than we used to like send each other like little porn gifs. And so like she would be scrolling through gifs and pick out one that she thought I would like, and she would text message it to me, and then like I would be scrolling through gifs. So you're looking at it. You're alone and you're looking at sex acts. And I was never insecure about this because apparently, unlike all of these Christian families out there, me and my wife approach porn from what is apparently a really novel perspective. So basically, like if we sit down to watch porn, we watch porn in exactly the same way that we watch like a TV, like a TV show or a movie. Right? Like that's all it is. It's just a show. And so, you know, you get caught, like my wife likes porn that's got like a story to it, you know? So like maybe like the babysitter is over taking care of the house or something, and like the stepmom is away, and then the husband comes home and he's had a rough day at the office and she's like consoling him, and then one thing leads to another, and you know, shenanigans ensue, and so like basically you're just watching a TV show that happens to include actual sex acts in it. So, you know, like maybe you're just like rooting for your favorite character. You know, you're hoping they both like get some enjoyment out of it, you know? Everybody finishes in the end. The superhero wins. You know, it's like escape from reality. And so you watch the show and you get a little titillated and maybe you laugh at the funny parts. And then like fucking 10 minutes later after you've turned it off, you know, like every other fucking TV program you've ever watched in life, you totally forgot about it. Like, you know, it wasn't just like haunting you all day long. Like, oh my God, that video I saw, it's so tempting. I gotta go watch it again. Now, maybe again, it's because I'm in a marriage that's not the typical Christian marriage where, you know, if you're lucky, you have sex like missionary style 3 times a month. It's probably really shitty. He probably doesn't care about getting her off. He probably doesn't allow her to have like any toys or anything. And so it's just like a 5-minute romp and then everybody like goes to bed, pretends to be happy. Like if that's the marriage you're living in, yeah, porn's probably a problem. But that's the thing. My argument is porn is not destroying any marriage in America that is actually like worth saving. The reality is that if your marriage is on such dodgy ground that watching pornography is going to destroy it, like you have far bigger problems than porn. You know, like what's the worst case scenario? Like worst case scenario, I would like watch a porn video by myself and like I would imagine that I was the guy in the video. You know, like, I don't know, like you might watch The Matrix and allow yourself to believe that maybe you really are Neo in real life, you know, and that you have the power to like bend the Matrix to your will. Or maybe you've been watching like a murder mystery and you imagine that you are the detective, and that maybe if you had ever gotten a job working for the police department that you would be like the #1 top murder mystery solver. You know, or maybe you were like watching a fucking Star Wars movie and you started to fantasize that you could reach out and touch the Force, that maybe you were a fucking Jedi Knight. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, sometimes you like fantasize dumb shit. So for like 3.5 minutes, I happened to like imagine that I was the guy in the video, you know, and then totally forgot the entire experience. Like, is this ideal for a marriage? Would my wife, like, love for me to do this? Probably not. But is it going to destroy an otherwise healthy marriage where we have a functional sex life and we have a mutual respect for one another and our boundaries? No, it's not. And so anybody who's all up in arms, first of all, about this calendar has completely lost their fucking mind, okay? Stop it. There's no way that a bikini is like a gateway to hardcore porn, which is what you're gonna find like out there. So like if you think a bikini somehow leads to like, gangbang, dude, that's a major stretch, okay? And if you don't want to watch porn because you have a weakness to it, like, okay, cool. I don't go hang out in places where people are twisting the bubble because I'm probably gonna have a relapse. So if you know that you're sensitive to porn, like if you know you're in a really shitty marriage and that if you start watching pornography, it's going to start making you have negative thoughts about your wife, or maybe you're going to think about things you shouldn't think about in inopportune times, then you should definitely not watch it. But what you should not do is tell the whole rest of the fucking earth, who's not a total fucking loser, what we can and cannot do. You can't go around telling everybody that porn is going to destroy. There was like women on X the other day that literally were making the statement that it is impossible to watch porn and have a healthy marriage. I am here to tell you that is complete and utter bullshit. In fact, I would be willing to argue the opposite. That if you are already having sex problems in your marriage, there is a very good chance that you and your wife or you and your partner watching porn together will actually make your marriage better, not worse. So what we really have here is an ideological difference whereby somebody has decided to believe that there's a mandate from this thing on high that God in his infinite wisdom created everything in the cosmos. And like God's favorite thing to do, apparently, like Satan gets blamed for this, but let's be honest, this really falls at the feet of God. He seems to really like tempting people. Like it's like a sick fetish for God. Have you noticed that? Like he creates man, he puts him in the Garden of Eden, he gives him everything he wants, and and then he creates this tree and he goes, whatever you do, don't eat of that tree. It'll kill you. Why put it there to begin with? Like, what kind of dumb fuck trumped up entrapment kind of situation is this? Like, why would you even do that? So you don't want man to fall, and then you literally entrap him in a garden where, just like natural occurrence, even if you don't include the snake in this bullshit story, like don't you think if Adam and Eve are living in the garden for fucking ever and they're just like eating all the fruits of the trees, and there's this one tree they just never fucked with, like every single day that you don't eat that tree, eat the fruit of that tree, it's gonna look better and better. I mean, that's the thing about taboo. Anything you can't have, you're naturally gonna want. So is God so ignorant of his own creation that he couldn't know like the impossible task he was setting before man? And then of course you got the snake that comes along and goes, actually God's full of shit. If you eat of that tree, you certainly will not die. You'll just become like him, having the knowledge of good and evil. And so of course what happens? Eve listens to the snake because he's like phallic looking and she's probably like horny and trying to get some. So she goes and eats of the tree, finds out the snake actually told the truth. God lied. She ate the tree. She didn't die. She gives it to Adam. Adam eats. Now he's fucked too. So now God's walking in the garden. How does this make any sense? Almighty, omniscient, omnipresent God suddenly is walking in the garden. He can't find Adam and Eve somehow. So apparently he doesn't know a lot because he's like, Adam, where are you? Come out from your hiding place. Oh my God, you're naked. You must have eaten of the tree. And Adam's over here like, yeah, dude, I ate the tree. And why the fuck didn't you make me any clothes? I'm fucking naked over here. This whole story is total insanity. And you know it's bullshit because the Christians are going to tell you, well, God didn't lie. God, when Adam and Eve ate of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, they died a spiritual death. But that's not what the book says. God actually has this little triumvirate. It's like he sits down with the other angels, which somehow are somewhat equal to him, strangely enough. And he says in the Bible, now we have to cast man out of the garden lest he eat of the tree of life and live forever. Which really fucks the whole thing up. Because first of all, we're told that man would have lived forever if he hadn't eaten of the forbidden fruit. But there happens to be another tree that's not mentioned at all until after, of course, man eats the one tree that he wasn't supposed to eat from. Now we have to kick man out of the garden because if he eats of the tree of life, he's going to live forever. Well, clearly he wasn't going to live forever before. And why do you keep, again, it's why do you keep creating all of these bullshit temptations? Don't even get me started on Job. So this is the hell that it is to be a Christian when you've been fed all of this your entire life. And so now you're convinced that if you happen to imagine yourself with another woman for 20 fucking seconds, that your entire marriage is destroyed and now you're this evil monstrous piece of shit. So under no circumstances should you buy the conservative calendar because it is going to destroy your marriage. Look, guys, if that is true of you, please seek help immediately because you are clearly in a fucking miserable, horrible marriage to begin with. Okay, what you're doing is you're in a terrible marriage. You're clearly very unhappy and you're blaming the pornography for why you're a shitty husband. Okay, so don't fuck it up for the rest of us who can be perfectly loving and perfectly, enamored with our wives and still enjoy a little titillation once in a while. Because that really is the key to a happy marriage. There's a 0% chance that Sarah and I would be as happy as we are in our marriage if we did not add spice to it. You're never going to enjoy sex with one person for fucking ever, which is the vow you take. We've been married for almost 9 years. If we had never brought in a toy or changed up the positions or brought in a little movie, a little porn, a little this, a little that, there's no chance we would probably even still be together, or if we were, we would be very, very bored just going through the motions because anything that you do just the same way every day is not going to be fun anymore. So we intentionally mix things up. We have a variety of different behaviors that we cycle through. When one thing stops working, then you add something to the mix or you change it up. That's how you keep things fresh. That's how you actually keep your marriage alive. And if you just rule out pornography as something that you could use to bring spice to your marriage, odds are you're going to be very, very unsatisfied. And that's probably why the divorce rate is as high as it is in this country. So, there you have it. I know I have an audience that's all over the map. I really hope for you guys, whatever you believe that makes you have peace and comfort at the end of the day, good for you. Okay? That's the whole objective in this world is how can we get through this existence with the least amount of suffering possible. And if religion can help you have less suffering, then that's great. But you have to understand, when it starts telling you shit like this, this is clearly not, these people are clearly not at peace who are getting into these arguments online. They are very, very, very fired up and they're very upset and they're clearly very scared that the entire moral fabric of the cosmos hangs in the balance of what me and my wife may choose to do on OnlyFans, and if someone else believes it or sees it, it's over. It's over. Their marriage is destroyed because of it. Okay, this objectively cannot be true. So there you have it. I decided to make a quick little video about what I have been seeing going on X. I would love to get your comments in the section below. I know I'm going to get flamed into oblivion by all of the... I can't really imagine that there's anybody in my audience I'm sure there's one or two of you out there who are going to tell me I'm a piece of shit, but I imagine my audience is probably not anti-porn. I don't think it's like, yay trend, no porn. I doubt that's the case. But hey, look, if I happen to be reaching a couple that's never watched porn together, then allow me to be the serpent in the Garden of Eden and tell you that your religious pastors or advisors, they are lying to you, okay? If you watch porn together, it's not going to destroy your marriage. It may wake you up to a whole lot of things that you didn't know you could do. It may create some exciting, interesting conversations. It may lead to some temporary insecurities. But if you and your wife are meant to be together, you guys are going to work through this together and you're going to come out the other side a much happier, healthier couple. And that's what I'm here for, to spread joy and Christmas cheer. So there you have it. Hope you got some enjoyment out of this. Maybe you'll go watch your favorite flick. I can tell you that my wife and I actually really enjoy not even watching real people, because real people are often ugly and they're bad actors, and you know, and it can be somewhat exploitative. Like, we're aware of the fact that some of these girls are being exploited. So we happen to live in a really exciting time where animated porn has become so realistic looking, it actually looks better than real people. And then you don't even have to feel bad about it, because no one's being injured, no one's being hurt, and they can do crazy, unbelievable things that no one in real life could do, which makes it even more exciting. So if you've never watched toon porn, I highly recommend it. As always, thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one.